Hello and welcome back to Added Time. Here for another video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. But we're doing our championship mid-season prediction.
Like the video.
Exactly that.
Now. Right now.
So we're going
Right
to be
now.
we're going to be talking about our top six, who's going to get in those playoffs and who's going down. Just for a disclaimer, we are at game number 24. So that's when we're doing this video, just if you're wondering. But let's kick right into it. James, who have you got in your top six?
I'll go from, standard sixth to
one.
first. In sixth, I've got a team that have really impressed me this season. I didn't expect them to, because I don't think their team's that good on paper. But they've got the second top goal scorer in the league. It is Blackburn Rovers.
Ooh. That's a wild card.
Adam Armstrong's been on fire. I used to watch Adam Armstrong back in the day at Coventry. He's a bit of a baller. He used to play in the team with James Maddison and Ryan Kent.
Got a reality TV star coming back as well.
Yeah, and Bradley Dack coming back. They've gone on to greener pastures. I think Adam Armstrong's next up in that list. Anyway, in fifth, a team that I really don't want to put in there, but I've had to because it's inevitable they're going to finish in the top six, and that is Swansea City. I just really hope that Connor Roberts doesn't make it to the last game of the season because I really don't like that man. In fourth, I've gone for the Cherries. I think Bournemouth's team's too good for them not to be in the playoffs this year. They don't look that impressive. I mean, drawing against Millwall, which by the way fucked my bet. But drawing against Millwall is just sort of unacceptable really this season. I know Brentford done it at the start, but recently, Millwall haven't been great.
Massive contradiction.
In third, I've gone for a big fan of the show. Shout out George Howe. I know you'll be watching, sir. But I've gone for Watford. That's his boys. We were talking about it yesterday. I think as a combined 11, Watford and Brentford have the best team in the Championship. Just saying. But yeah, I think they're going to finish third.
According to Chisco Munoz, he has the best strikers in the league.
That's nonsense.
Deeney, Gray, Murray.
Now, I'm not going to claim this stat, right? But George did tell me this, that Tony's got 16... The King of Canterbury, yeah. That Tony's got a 0.77 XG or something with 16 goals, and Andre Gray has a 0.74 with awful. 1 goal this season. Nuts.
He misses absolute sitters.
Anyway, second, I'm sure you can guess who I've got in here. I have got our boys Brentford in there. I'm not going to put them top because I don't think they'll get top. Basically, I'm just being honest.
I think they'll bottle. Little.
Harry's not seen the greatness that we've been watching this season, I guess. So just ignore what he's saying. Anyway, in top spot, I've got the team that are there already, which is Norwich. I just can't see them drop. They don't look good at all. Is the problem?
Nah, they're ruthless though.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to drop off top spot at all this season. I think they'll be there till the end. I don't think they're the team like Leeds that are just going to slip off towards the end of the season. I think Norwich are going to be there. I don't think anyone's going to take top spot until the end of the season.
I think the window's big for them, isn't it? If they keep,
they're getting a
huge. Yeah, if they can keep Cantwell,
they're getting a left back in who apparently is good. And they made all their money and didn't spend any in the Premier League anyway, so they don't need to sell. Unlike maybe a Bournemouth or someone like that. But if you had to pick one team to go up in the playoffs, James, who would that be?
So out of that 4, it's definitely not going to be Swansea. It's going to be. I just think that it's going to be either Watford or Bournemouth, only because they've got the experience in the teams. And if I was to pick out of the 2, I would go for Watford. I just think that. I don't know. Bournemouth's team's good, but they don't look that impressive. None of them do, really. None of the relegated teams look good. But the season's been so bad so far that literally anyone could be in the top 6, to be honest. The standard of football is dire, but there you go.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting season. I'll run you through my top 6. My top 5's the same as James's, but I've got a different 6th place, and I've gone for Neil Warnock's Middlesbrough. I think they look really good this season, to be honest. They brought goals into their games, and of course you got the Neil Warnock defensiveness, which is always going to be there. And I think they are one of the better sides in the league. Dropping out for me is definitely going to be Reading. I mean, They won their first 7 and they're living off that at the moment, even though they've got some all right players in Elise and stuff. But not going to do it for me. In 5th, disagree with James a bit on Watford's. Not because of their squad. If their squad can get firing, they're definitely in with a shout of winning the league. But I just don't see, like, I haven't watched a lot of them under Chisco, but I don't know. They're playing the 4-4-2 now, and again, goals for me. Troy Deeney looks terrible. Andre Gray looks terrible. So they're going to be relying on a youngster in João Pedro to get them goals firing to the top 2. But 5th is good enough for me. 4th, I got Swansea. Again, another problem for goals. They're going to need to sign a striker, although I have heard they're signing MLS gem Jordan Morris from Seattle Sounders. Definitely could be a very good signing if he can hit the ground in Europe, because he's
Seattle Sounders, ole.
he's a top player. But defensively,
Love
of course, you've got to rate 13 goals conceded from 24 games. That is pretty astronomical. But you know, I think that those goals will have to start leaking at some point, and then they're not going to be able to fire the goals in themselves to really challenge the top 2 come the end of it. 3rd is an interesting one. If we'd have done this podcast probably a week ago, I would have had them winning the league. But after their last 2 results, I'm not actually that convinced by them anymore. It's Bournemouth. I think when we played them, they looked a top side. When Brentford played Bournemouth the other week, that looked like the 2 best sides in the league. But just seeing them against Millwall and Luton and a lot of the teams this season, they haven't been able, the lower teams, they haven't been able to beat very convincingly. Even though, of course, they're beating Wickham 5-0, but just a few of them, they've dropped points in, and I think it's a sign of things to come. They're going to be dropping more points. David Brooks looks a bit off the boil at the moment. Dan Juma, I think he's out injured or he's not firing. And yeah, I don't know. Don't know about Bournemouth. In 2nd, I've got us, Brentford. I think we're the best team in the league this season, no doubt. But I think we've been unlucky in a few games cancelled recently, and our schedule is going to look a lot more menacing than Norwich's. And also, we just don't have the squad depth. Well, this could change if we sign someone like Siriki Dembele or somebody like that. But at the moment, we don't have the squad depth to really win the league. But I think we're definitely good enough to go up. And then in 1st, to echo everything James says about Norwich, they never been like when we played them. 1-1 draw. I was not impressed with them at all. We should have won that game. A very lucky Kenny McLean deflected goal got them an equaliser late on. But yeah, I think that they just look to grind out results the same way they did the last time they're in the Championship.
Who wins the playoffs for you?
Regrettably, it has to be Swansea, because defensively they can keep a team out. Aaron,
That's
your
disturbing.
top 6.
Well, if I do look distracted in this video, guys, I'm in a queue for a PlayStation 5. You know how hard they are to get, so I've had to be checking my phone. But in 6th, Tia's copied me. I've gone for Middlesbrough as well. A little bit of red light in there for you. And then in 5th, I've gone for Watford. 4th, I've gone for Brentford.
What?
3rd, I've gone for Bournemouth. James, you can't tell me you didn't completely bottle it last season.
You did bottle it last year, but it's
You
a
had
different
three
team.
matches, and you bottled
4,
all of
really.
them.
Go on.
What? Yeah, but anyway, I just think, can they pull it over the line this season, or have they learned? Maybe you've learned if you have, but
Experience.
I've gone for experience in other teams, not in your team.
No,
I think
we've got
there's
experience
still
in
quite
this
a lot of
league.
fun. Yeah, that went well last year. Well, anyway,
Because
I've
we
gone
didn't
for
have
you in
experience
4th.
then.
3rd, I've gone
Anyway,
for Bournemouth.
right.
And
The hometown boys.
second, I've gone for Swansea, mainly just because I did have a pre-season bet. I had a pre-season bet on Swansea, and it's actually going pretty well. So, yeah, I'm going for Swansea. And then top, I think, very boring. I'm going for Norwich as well. I think everyone had that in the pre-season predictions, didn't we? All had them.
We all did, yeah.
So no surprises there.
My top
That's
2
your
hasn't actually
Swansea
changed.
to go up on that. Who's winning the playoffs, Harry?
You or
Thanks.
Watford.
That's a consolation.
Love
at least.
that. James, let's hit us quickly with your relegated teams.
My bottom 3 are Wickham, inevitable, really. I think they've done really well to get into the Championship in the first place, but they're just a bit crap, really. Just a bit crap. Then I've got this is probably more speaking with my heart than my head. I've got QPR to go down second bottom. I've just got a huge dislike for the man. Lyndon Dykes is bloody awful. What did I say at the start of the season? Anyway,
They've got Austin though, haven't they?
Don't get me started.
He's fat. That's like me playing up front for a
He
team.
bagged, didn't he, first game?
Anyway, Millwall
Like
also
2
to go
yards out.
down. Millwall to go down just because they've been really bad, and unless they sack Rowett quickly, I think they could be in trouble, serious trouble.
Definitely. League One squad, to say the least. I think we're all going to have Wickham bottom. No disrespect to them. That's just they're just a level below.
I think they
this league.
expected to go down, to be honest. I think they expected it.
I
Great
don't.
effort getting up in the first place.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Some
They
people
can
didn't
only
even
be
Great
think.
proud.
success.
Some people didn't even think they'd win a game when they went on that
No.
run at the start of the season. So they've done well. 23rd, I've got Birmingham City, who just looked terrible. I know they won at the weekend, but it was still very unimpressive. And again, Karanka's going to get sacked. There's going to be some turmoil towards the end of the season, and they've flirted with relegation just every season since I can remember. So I think it's finally going to happen. And then in 22nd, it's a real toss-up. There's a lot of teams that could do this, but I'm going to go for QPR. I think they just look terrible. Their best player, I'll say Samuel's going to be out at the end of the season. How much is he going to be up for a fight when he's got Mesut Ozil to play with at the end of the season? It doesn't really matter for him anymore.
What a bizarre transfer, by the way.
So, yeah. And Austin, I mean, he doesn't really do it for me either. I mean, yeah, he scored a wonderful goal against Birmingham for West Brom last season, but other than that, did he really do much? No. And has he done much in the Prem? No, he's a finished striker. Don't get your
The
hopes up,
actual
lads.
best player is named after a piece of furniture. What a weirdo. Anyway, on you go.
Wow, that has to be one of the
It is,
weakest
Chair.
insults I've ever heard. But anyway, yeah, I've
Good
gone
player,
for
though.
Wickham again. No surprises. 23rd, I've gone for QPR as well. I actually fancy them to go down, although I was bigging up. Wasn't really
Alexa,
bigging up
play
the
that
Austin
song.
signing, but anyway, I think he could do well. They definitely just needed someone to freshen up, because as you said, Lyndon Dykes
Rangers
has been
going
very
down.
uninspiring.
Yeah,
But,
well said.
22nd, as Tia said, is quite a tricky one, isn't it? But I might stick with Rotherham. Just for something a bit
Rotherham.
different,
Yeah,
because
fair
otherwise
enough.
we're all going to go for the exact same thing.
Honestly,
So, yeah,
anyone out
22nd,
of
I'm going to go. Yeah, it could be anyone.
Rotherham, Wednesday, Derby, I mean, they all in turmoil at the moment. But I think
Derby have
also
got the Rooney bounce.
Derby definitely depends on whether this takeover goes through, because at the moment they've got players they haven't paid their wages, so it could only get worse if this takeover doesn't come through. But
Could they get a points deduction? I know you're probably more clued into it.
very, very potentially if unless it's fixed quickly. But it honestly, a lot of sources are saying this really,
Why doesn't Rooney just pay the wages? Because he's got loads of money.
because they're all in stocks, James. It's all locked away.
Will it make
Oh,
any
okay.
difference now he's the actual manager? Because wasn't he basically the manager anyway? Or was a bit of both?
Mate, if Rooney's
he's
your
been a
manager and you're not
manager for
performing,
ages.
you shouldn't be playing
Yeah.
football if you're not.
I've been impressed by Rooney so far as a
Yeah,
manager.
if you're not going to play your best for a manager like that, then you're in the wrong sport, mate. Best English player to ever put the shirt on, and you're just going to disrespect him by putting in 4s, 5s a week. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. But anyway, guys, let us know in the comments what you think. Your top 6.
Yeah, if you are a Championship fan, comment your club in the comments.
Like the video.
Yeah,
Comment
like
your club,
it.
and we'll have a little debate.
Subscribe if
Get
you want
down
more
there.
Championship content as well. But
We
we'll
know
be back.
you do.
See you later.
We know you do.